They once lived in multi-million-dollar estates, complete with breathtaking ocean views and lavish wine cellars. Now, celebrities like Mel Gibson, Paris Hilton, and Anthony Hopkins find themselves without homes. Some lost cherished family heirlooms, while others saw their entire possessions reduced to ashes. But the real shock? One star suggests these fires were intentional, while another confesses they couldn't even afford insurance. This is the tragic reality of Hollywood's latest catastrophe. Mel Gibson, renowned actor and director Mel Gibson, best known for Braveheart and The Patriot, saw his Malibu mansion consumed by the Los Angeles wildfires on January 8, 2025. The Mediterranean-style villa, valued at $14.5 million, had been his home for 15 years. It was where he raised his children and hosted countless gatherings, making the loss deeply personal. At the time of the fire, Gibson was in Texas recording a podcast with Joe Rogan. When he learned about the destruction, he admitted feeling stunned, though he tried to joke about it, saying the fire had relieved him of his stuff by turning it all to ash. There was no masking the emotional toll. Other celebrities in his neighborhood, including Ed Harris and Jeff Bridges, also saw their homes reduced to rubble as the fires ravaged the area. In the aftermath, Gibson voiced his frustration over how California handles wildfire prevention. During the podcast, he criticized Governor Gavin Newsom, claiming the state fails to manage its forests properly. He even went so far as to suggest the fire's devastation was eerily precise, leading him to speculate whether it could have been deliberate. Now, Gibson faces a tough decision. Should he rebuild or start fresh somewhere else? John Goodman, beloved actor John Goodman, known for Roseanne and The Big Lebowski, was another victim of the raging wildfires. His Pacific Palisades home, designed by renowned architect Michael Maltzahn, was an architectural masterpiece. The sleek, modern residence featured 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, towering glass windows with stunning ocean views, an infinity pool, and a lush, drought-resistant garden. Goodman purchased the home in 2008 for $4.6 million and often used it as a retreat between filming projects. It was filled with memorabilia from his long career, including his Golden Globe Award for Roseanne. Fortunately, Goodman and his wife were not home when the fire broke out, as they split their time between Los Angeles and New Orleans. However, images of the aftermath revealed a heartbreaking sight. Only rubble and ash remained. While Goodman has yet to make a public statement, his fans and colleagues worry about how he is coping with the loss. Paris Hilton, reality TV star turned entrepreneur. Paris Hilton also saw her luxurious Malibu mansion destroyed. The $51 million estate, which she had purchased in 2021, was more than just a home. It was where she built a life with her husband, Carter Reaume, and their 2 young children, Phoenix and London. The house held irreplaceable memories, including the special moment when Phoenix took his first steps. Hilton took to Instagram to express her heartbreak, revealing that she and her family watched the home burn down live on television. The experience was surreal and devastating, but despite her loss, she expressed gratitude that her loved ones were safe. She also extended her sympathy to others who lost their homes, pets, and even family members in the disaster. Using her platform, Hilton publicly thanked the firefighters and first responders, calling them true heroes for their bravery in battling the flames. Her heartfelt message resonated with her followers, revealing a deeper, more compassionate side of her beyond her glamorous persona. Anthony Hopkins Academy. Award-winning actor Anthony Hopkins, celebrated for his roles in The Silence of the Lambs and The Father, also lost his Pacific Palisades home in the wildfire on January 9, 2025. His oceanfront retreat, purchased in 2021 for $6 million, was more than just a house. It was a place of peace and reflection, surrounded by breathtaking views of both the sea and the mountains. This wasn't the first time Hopkins had faced such devastation. In 2000, he lost his London home to a fire while he was in Los Angeles. His Malibu property narrowly escaped destruction during the 2018 Woolsey fire, but this time, he wasn't as fortunate. Photos of the aftermath showed the structure reduced to little more than a pile of charred remains, with only a few stone pillars and pathways left standing. Despite experiencing yet another personal tragedy, Hopkins responded with remarkable resilience. Just 2 days later, on January 11th, he posted a heartfelt message on social media, encouraging others affected by the fires to focus on what truly matters. As we all struggle to heal from the devastation of these fires, it's important to remember that the only thing we take with us is the love we give. he wrote. His words offered comfort to many who were grieving their own losses. On January 14th, Hopkins followed up with a video, reflecting on what losing a home really means. He emphasized that while material possessions can be replaced, the emotional loss of a home, the memories, the sense of belonging, is much harder to recover from. Still, he saw the tragedy as an opportunity to reassess what's truly valuable in life. He also took the time to thank everyone who had reached out to support him and praised the firefighters for their tireless efforts in battling the infernos. Miles Teller, acclaimed actor Miles Teller, known for his roles in Whiplash and Top Gun, Maverick, experienced a devastating loss when his $7.7 million Pacific Palisades home was destroyed by the wildfires. He had shared the luxurious residence with his wife, Kelly Sperry Teller, since purchasing it in 2023. The estate boasted 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a pool that seamlessly blended into the ocean view, a guest house, and lush gardens. It was their dream home until January 9th, 2025, when it was reduced to rubble. Kaylee took to Instagram to express her heartbreak, posting 2 side-by-side photos, one of the house before the fire, and another showing its charred remains. In her caption, she thanked everyone for their support and wrote, "We will come back stronger than ever." Miles, who typically keeps his personal life private, also issued a statement. "Losing our home is devastating, but we're beyond grateful that we're safe. Material things can be replaced, lives cannot." He also praised the courage of firefighters, calling them true heroes. Anna Faris comedy star Anna Faris, beloved for her roles in Scary Movie and the hit sitcom Mom, saw her world change overnight when the Los Angeles wildfires destroyed her home. Her Pacific Palisades farmhouse-style residence, spanning 4,700 square feet, featured 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and breathtaking Pacific Ocean views. She had purchased the $4.9 million home in 2019 after her divorce from Chris Pratt, making it not just a house, but a symbol of a fresh start for her and her son. Its warm, modern design, soaring ceilings, and sunlit interiors made it feel like a sanctuary, complete with a serene garden and a pool. News of the destruction first broke on January 8, 2025, when Chris Pratt shared an Instagram video saying, "My son's mom's house burned down. It's heartbreaking." Fans and fellow celebrities were stunned. 2 days later, Anna addressed the loss on social media. She spoke about the deep emotional connection she had with her home, calling it a place filled with love and memories. While devastated, she expressed gratitude that her family was safe and thanked firefighters for their incredible bravery. Beyond personal loss, Anna took a stand, urging people to take climate change seriously. Wildfires are becoming more frequent and more destructive. If we don't act now, it will only get worse. A week later, in an emotional interview, she reflected on how her home had been her refuge. "It was my safe place, my little haven. Losing it feels like losing a part of myself." Despite the heartbreak, she promised to rebuild and emphasize the strength of her community. The overwhelming support from fans and Hollywood peers poured in, reminding her she was not alone. Eugene Levy, famed for Schitt's Creek and the American Pie movies, also lost his Pacific Palisades home, a stunning Mediterranean-style villa worth $3.9 million, with 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a wine cellar, and an infinity pool overlooking the ocean. It was more than just a house. It was his sanctuary. He had lived there with his family since 2011, often expressing how much peace it brought him. The day of the fire was like something out of a disaster movie. Stuck in gridlock traffic while trying to evacuate, Eugene recalled seeing thick, black smoke consuming the sky. When he finally learned his house had been destroyed, he was heartbroken. Known for his sharp wit, Levy struggled to find humor in the situation. In a later interview, he reflected on the eerie similarities between his real life and Schitt's Creek, a show about a wealthy family losing everything and starting over. In the show, we could just write a happy ending. In real life, it's not that simple. Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, reality TV icons from the hills, were among those who lost everything. After facing financial struggles in the past, the couple had finally turned things around and, in 2022, purchased a $4.5 million Pacific Palisades home as their fresh start. The sprawling estate included 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a home gym, a recording studio for Heidi's music, and an outdoor space with a pool and kitchen. Spencer even dedicated an entire room to his beloved crystal collection, frequently flaunting it on social media. But on January 7th, 2025. The fire forced them to flee with their children, 7-year-old Gunnar and 3-year-old Riker. The next day, Heidi broke down in tears during an emotional Instagram Live. She recalled how Spencer urged her to grab valuables, but in her panic, she only managed to take the kids' teddy bears. Spencer, equally devastated, later described the surreal sight of their son's bed burning in the shape of a heart, calling it insane and out of body. The loss was compounded by a financial blow. They had no insurance. Heidi later explained that they were house poor, meaning all their money had gone into the home.
Update, I'm watching our house burn down on the security cameras.
Leaving little for anything else, Spencer, feeling the weight of their past money troubles, took to Twitter to vent. "We worked so hard to rebuild our lives, only to lose everything again." While many sympathized, others criticized their financial choices, forcing Spencer to defend their efforts to get back on their feet. Steve Guttenberg veteran actor Steve Guttenberg, known for Police Academy and 3 Men and a Baby, was also among the fire's victims. His Spanish-style villa in Pacific Palisades, which he had owned since 1999, was his sanctuary. The home featured 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a wine cellar, and a lush garden where he often hosted charity events. Just months before the fire, he had invested $500,000 into renovations, adding a state-of-the-art kitchen and a scenic rooftop deck. On January 7th, 2025, Guttenberg woke up to find the fire rapidly approaching his neighborhood. Within hours, his home was gone. What struck him most was how unpredictable the destruction was. Some houses remained untouched, while others, like his, were reduced to ashes. But rather than dwelling on his loss, Steve jumped into action. He helped neighbors move abandoned cars to clear paths for fire trucks, comforted displaced families, and did whatever he could to assist in the chaos. Despite losing everything, Guttenberg remained remarkably optimistic. "This fire reminded me that no matter how much money or success you have, we all just want to feel safe and supported." He hailed the firefighters and first responders as the true heroes and emphasized how tragedies like this reveal the power of community. Cameron Matheson, best known for All My Children and General Hospital, suffered an immense loss when his Pacific Palisades home was consumed by the Eaton Fire in January 2025. His Mediterranean-style villa, which he had owned since 2012, was not just a house. It was where he, his wife Vanessa, and their 2 children built countless memories. The $6.7 million estate had breathtaking ocean views, a custom-built treehouse cherished by his kids, and a personal gym where Matheson filmed workout videos for his fans. On January 8th, 2025, while Matheson was on set filming a segment for QVC, he received the devastating news. The fire was closing in on his home. He rushed back, barely having time to grab essential documents and a few personal items before evacuating. By the time he returned, his home was gone. On January 10th, he shared an emotional Instagram video, his voice heavy with grief as he walked through the ruins. "It's really, really decimated. There's nothing left. Less than nothing." In an interview, he admitted his biggest regret, leaving behind irreplaceable items like home videos of his children when they were little. "You can replace a house. You can't replace memories," he said, clearly heartbroken. Melissa Rivers, daughter of the legendary Joan Rivers, lost her cherished home in Brentwood to the devastating wildfires. The house wasn't just a residence. It was a living archive of her family's history. Originally purchased by Joan in 1988 for $2.9 million, the home held decades of memories. When Melissa inherited it after her mother's passing in 2014, she preserved it as a tribute, filled with Joan's scripts, signature wardrobe, countless joke cards, and treasured family photographs. The house was also deeply tied to her father, Edgar Rosenberg, who passed away in 1987. On January 8th, as the fire approached, Melissa had to make quick, heart-wrenching decisions about what to save. In an interview with CNN, she revealed the few precious items she took: her mother's Emmy, a photograph of her father, and a drawing Joan had made of her and her son. "I chose the drawing because it was unique. Unlike a photo, it couldn't be replaced," she explained. The loss weighed heavily on her. "That's the end of everything that belonged to my family," she said, struggling to hold back tears. Joan's iconic joke cards, her father's personal mementos, everything was gone. In the days that followed, Melissa turned to social media to express her grief. She shared an image of the charred remains of her home, describing the surreal feeling of approaching the property and seeing nothing where the house had once stood. "It's like it was never even there," she wrote. Despite the overwhelming sorrow, she remained grateful that her family and pets were safe. The physical items are gone, but the memories will always live on. Cary Elwes, best known for his role as Wesley in The Princess Bride, suffered a tremendous loss when the wildfires destroyed his Pacific Palisades home on January 7th, 2025. The house, which he purchased in 2004 for $3.8 million, was a historic gem built in 1929. Its original tiles, hand-carved wooden beams, and serene courtyard with a fountain made it an oasis of tranquility for the actor. As flames approached his neighborhood on January 8th, Cary had to evacuate in a hurry, barely managing to take a few treasured possessions with him. On January 9th, he shared a heartbreaking Instagram video showing his home reduced to ashes. "Sadly, we lost our home, but we are beyond grateful to have survived this truly devastating fire," he wrote. Among the few things he managed to save were the iconic sword from The Princess Bride and some family photographs. But much more was lost. His costumes, film scripts, and treasured memorabilia from his decades in Hollywood were gone. The loss of his personal journals was particularly painful. Cary had been keeping journals since the early days of his career, documenting his experiences on movie sets and beyond. On January 18th, he publicly thanked the firefighters and first responders who risked their lives to battle the blaze. "While we mourn the loss of our home and the memories it held, we are profoundly grateful for the bravery of those who fought to save our community." Jhené Aiko, renowned R&B singer Jhené Aiko, celebrated for her soulful music and Grammy-nominated albums like Sold Out and Chilombo, was among the many victims of the wildfire. Her Pacific Palisades home, which she had purchased in July 2023 for $5.6 million, was more than just a house. It was where she lived with her two children, 16-year-old Namiko and 2-year-old Noah. When the fire struck on January 8th, Jhené and her family were away, but a neighbor sent her a heartbreaking photo, her house engulfed in smoke. She later shared the image on Instagram, revealing that everything was gone. "This loss is unimaginable, but I'm grateful that my family is safe," she wrote. For Jhené, this tragedy was especially painful. It was not the first time she had lost a home to fire. As a child, she had experienced a similar devastation. Losing her home again brought back old wounds. Inside the house were priceless mementos, including her handwritten notebooks from her earliest songwriting days, rare vinyl records, and custom stage outfits. One of the most irreplaceable items she lost was a grand piano gifted to her by the late Nipsey Hussle, her friend and mentor. Despite the immense loss, Jhené focused on others who were also suffering. She posted a message on social media, saying, "My heart is with everyone who lost their homes, their belongings, or even their lives. I'm also thinking of all the animals affected by this fire.